They have spent over $100,000 of association money, meaning your money, and for what? To have an election 3 months early?
December 29th happened, and they started to send out the call for candidates letter for the January 25th election that was supposed to occur about 7 months ago. The board was supposed to give us 21 days to return the call for candidates letter. Instead, they gave us at max 2 days. So they sent the letter out by USPS on the 29th of December. Most of us didn't get it until the new year. They said we had to turn it back into the office in person by that Friday, I believe, December 31st, within that 5-hour window that they hold office hours. So basically, they didn't give anybody a chance to run for the election. So they were trying to run unopposed. So then what we did is we got together with Kate, and Kate said that the best way to move forward is to file a temporary restraining order, abbreviated by TRO, and we filed that in court to stop the election from happening, and we were granted that by Judge Wheaton. Then Judge Wheaton ordered, Kate and their attorney, Matt O'Malley from Tressler, to work out the details of how a new election would be held. All the board did at that point, they tried to basically break into a Facebook group, a private Facebook group that many of us are a part of, that we believe was so that Diva could build a better defamation case. There were just some weird requests that they had in discovery, and it was all an attempt just to hold up the election, to basically push it off as long as possible. Then what happened, April 25th, without us asking, Judge Wheaton appointed Samim Munshi, who is our custodian, to run an election. Third party, we didn't know she was, the board didn't know she was. I think Judge Wheaton had worked with her in the past, but we did not ask for her appointment. We were hoping that maybe eventually this would happen, but Judge Wheaton actually preemptively appointed her without us asking for it, because she could start to see the things that the board was doing. She could see that the board was trying to push out this election indefinitely. The board then appealed that appointment, said that the judge had no right to appoint her. Judge Wheaton disagreed with that and even said that she doesn't even believe that order is appealable. The board then files a motion to stay the order of the appointment of Samim, and what that means is they were trying to get her appointment stopped, essentially, so until the appellate court ruled, so that Samim would not be able to go forward with an election until the appellate court ruled on the appointment of Samim. So June 16th, Kate, but meanwhile, is in the background. She has to, write responses, write motions, responding to the motion to stay, responding to the appeal. So Judge Wheaton denies their motion on June 16th. So the custodian Samim is ordered to continue to run an election. Then the board appeals the motion denial. and so again, it's laughable when Diva says that, like, Save Lisle Place is keeping the association in court. We filed one thing. We filed this TRO to stop the election. Everything that's happened since is them appealing orders. It's appealing appointments. It's filing motions to stay orders. So Save Lisle Place, we filed one thing in court, and that's the only thing we cared about. So everything since then is the board appealing motions and orders and things that this basically all goes down to goes back to that stopping the election on January 25th. So then on August 3rd, we got notification that the appellate court ruled on the appeal of the stay. So again, we're at a second appeal here. They appealed the appointment, then they appealed the denial of the stay. The appellate court upheld Judge Wheaton's denial of the stay. So once again, Samim is okay to move forward with an election. So then what happens? So this is all like court stuff, but kind of what's happening at the same time is, Save Lisle Place is going around and collecting proxies. And I've got some more detail on that in a later slide. And so what also is happening at the same time, the board is trying to push a deconversion through, which I'll also talk about in a minute. At the same time, they sent out, many of you may have gotten this fraudulent proxy where they said, where they had their names highlighted, and then under the proxy, they had put Lisle Place Board of Directors. And they were trying to conflate that with the deconversion proxy. So basically what happened is, once we let Samim know about what they were doing, she filed a motion for contempt of court. So she's saying that they violated the order that, Samim is appointed to do the election and that the board isn't supposed to meddle with it. And so she filed a contempt of court motion. That's forwarded to October 12th, or continued to October 12th. So that motion for contempt, that won't be heard for a while. But in the meantime, the judge, again, this is something that Kate filed for us, another TRO, this time to stop the deconversion vote. And the reason, there's two reasons behind this. We sent out a survey that asked people, do you want to wait until the election to hold the deconversion vote? And 92% of homeowners said yes, they want to wait to the election to hold the deconversion vote. So that's number one. We were just trying to, carry out the will and the desire of the homeowners. Number two, it was confusing homeowners in that they weren't sure if the deconversion proxy was a proxy for the election. It was confusing. Obviously the board did this on purpose. They tried to hold the deconversion vote 2 days before the election, and they sent out proxies for the election, but with a deconversion cover letter. So they were obviously trying to conflate the two to confuse homeowners. And then, many of you may have gotten the letter that Samim sent. So basically, Samim wants to run a new election because she feels like this election is completely compromised for the reasons I mentioned earlier, and something else I'll talk about in a minute about the proxies. So she did send a letter to homeowners notifying them that there will be a new election, and that will occur likely in late September. So we will be getting new proxies from Samim, and we will have a new election at the end of September.